Alright, so we got Bassinger stuff tore down. Well, Chris got Bassinger stuff tore down. Getting ready to go through the machining process. We got the LS1 sitting in the home. We got the 6.0 on deck. He's fixing to throw the caps back on it. We get those torqued down with fresh bolts, get them checked, see how bad the main housing is. This 5.7 is not too bad. We just sanded the caps. We're gonna bump the home through it to line everything up, make sure everything's the same size. We do have some variance between 1 and 5. We always do. So we'll get both of these knocked out real quick and throw them. Well, actually, we'll throw them in the cylinder home. So should be a pretty easy process this time. Sometimes the line home can get away from you and get kind of hectic, and you blow caps out and it just gets crazy. The reason we align home everything is because the rest of the machines, the rest of the machining process is based off the main housing board, and if it's crooked, everything else is going to be crooked. So we start here, get everything straight, perfectly round, all the same size, and that's going to give us a good foundation to go through the rest of the machining process. On something like this that has been, you know, who knows how many miles are on it, how many thousands of miles are on it, it's a good thing to go ahead and check and knock out to get everything fresh and straightened up. Every refresh that we quote, you know, we quote doing an align home first. There's not much that comes through here that doesn't get the align home bumped through in some way, shape, or form. At the very least, we bump it through just to freshen the surface up. That way there's no surface rust or anything else like that in the mains that can distort a main bearing clearance measurement. Alright, so there you go, pretty self-explanatory as to how it works. I'll show you the difference between the surface finishes. This is one that has not been done. This is a factory finish from GM. You can tell where the bearings were. You can even kind of see a faint part number or anything like, you know, kind of a part number or something that was written on the back of the bearing is transferred over into the block. And it just gets worse from there. So now I'll show you what one that just went through the home. We cut the caps, bring it down to undersize, and then we'll take it out and put a nice crosshatch on it. Pretty easy, nothing crazy to it. We're gonna get back to work. We'll get this guy out of here in the home, and we'll get this one that Chris is working on getting the main caps put in. We'll go ahead and throw it in there and knock it out too. So that's why we use a torque plate. A lot of people ask why we have to use a torque plate, and this is why. If you notice, the shadowing is pretty much where the bolts are. Tell there's shadowing there in that corner directly in front of the bolt. Same here, and it distorts the cylinder so much that it actually egg shapes it and creates this shadow spot where the stones aren't touching. It's going to be the same way on this back side as well. So right where the bolt is. So that's why it's important to make sure that you torque plate hone a block and not just stick it in a hone and have them flash hone it or bottle hone it or anything like that, because you're leaving horsepower on the table. Alright, so this isn't good. We were cutting the small block Chevy, or in the middle of a cut on a small block Chevy, and we started having fires and shit like that. pop up out of the top. Upon further inspection, maybe you can see it, but right there is our issue. We burned up a few wires. In the middle of the cut, no less. Luckily, it didn't affect the cut. We'll back it up and restart. Take a small amount left off of here and keep going. But we were rolling pretty good. We got both blocks done for, I was informed yesterday, his name is not Bassinger, it's B-Singer.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we got both blocks done for David. That's your name now. So that really sucks. We got an electrician on the way right now. He'll be here in about an hour. Luckily, we got plenty of other things to do. Got these 2 blocks done, run through both machines. Next step is for that small block shed, we're gonna go ahead and get the rotating assembly balanced. Shouldn't be the end of the world to wait on that. So we'll finish getting that cut here in just a few and keep on pushing. We have a phase converter up in this corner here. It's got like 3 capacitors in it and a star capacitor. We're afraid that we burn up all the capacitors. So we spent all day Friday, all day Saturday, and we just got here this morning and we finally got all the capacitors we needed to go ahead and replace everything. So John's working on that right now. Look at there. All right, so it took 3 days, but crisis averted. We've got the phase converter running. Got a small block Chevy in the surfacer now. Getting a fresh deck put on it. Got a couple LSs we need to do as well. Got a set of heads on the way from Short Stack Customs. It was another local shop that specializes in LS swap lifted Jeeps, like rock crawlers. But they do a lot of LS swaps, and they keep us pretty busy with cylinder head, cam selection, stuff like that. So he'll be here later on today to drop a set of heads off. I've already ordered a set of BTR 660 springs. So shout out to BTR for always hooking us up and making sure we get things on time.